Hello. Hello, all you beautiful people, kings and queens, friends and family, new viewers and viewers who watch this later on. Welcome to a special edition this afternoon on my talk show, which is called Who is Your Daddy series. So I am taking a twist today, not to do a talk show, but to do a special on my life story upgrade. My life story upgrade. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, Queen Machu. Lovely to see you. Welcome. You're the first. Welcome and good afternoon. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, especially. And good afternoon, Queen Maya. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. For those of you who are going to be seeing me for the first time, my name is Anastasia MacDonald. I'm the talk show host of Who is Your Daddy series, a program that is dedicated to those who grew up without a daddy. And so I talk about all those issues that, for those of us who never had a daddy in our lives, whether it be through divorce, whether it be through death, whether it be through imprisonment, whether it be physical absence, emotional absence, I talk about those issues, and with the ultimate goal of developing a close, warm, friendly, creative, playful relationship with Daddy God. Daddy God. So I'm not doing that today. I'm doing a life story upgrade special, and I'm going to be sharing with you the lessons that I have learned and I'm learning, knowing and experiencing God better through my best mentor, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Good afternoon, Queen Deborah and Queen Cynthia. Thank you for joining me. Good afternoon, Dee. Good afternoon. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you, kings. I haven't seen the kings yet. I've seen the queens. Lovely to see all of you. Thank you so much for taking time out. Good afternoon, Queen Jane. Thank you, Maya. Maya says, always beautiful and looking younger. Mom. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words. So this afternoon, I'm not a talk show. I'm taking a twist, and I said that I'm going to be discussing with the lessons that I learned following my trip to Kiev. Knowing and experiencing God. Isn't it amazing that we can get to know God better and better? Good afternoon, Queen Dorothy. Good afternoon. Isn't it better? Isn't it great that we can learn about Daddy God? Because you know what? I'm a daddy's girl. Even though I didn't grow up with my daddy, but I am a Daddy God's girl. I am a Daddy God's girl through and through. So I'm going to be continuing. Last week I started, so that was part one. I shared with you some of the lessons that I learned. But before I do that, I just want to know, can you please let me know whether you can see me well? Because guess what, my broke just before I went live. So the lamp is adjusted on the oil. I don't know whether lighting is good enough, so please let me know. Good afternoon, right there. Good afternoon, Ojo. Let me know if you can see me properly. Let me know if you can hear me very well. Good afternoon, King Joseph. Thank you for joining me live this afternoon. I'm not doing the talk show. I'm doing what I've called my life story upgrade special, knowing and experiencing God through my best mentor, Dr. Sandy Adelaja. And it gives me great honor to talk about him before I start the program, because Dr. Sandy Adelaja is in almost turning 50. He will be 50 on the 28th of May. So he's going to be celebrating his birthday from the 26th to the 28th of May in Kiev, Ukraine, where he lives with his wife and his family. But from the 28th of April till the 28th of May, we are having a campaign to honor, to celebrate, and let everybody know, all the amazing stuff that he does. He's somebody that must be known worldwide because he's dedicated his life to helping us to know who God really is, to helping us know who we really are in God, And so I just want to encourage all of you DSA family to keep on sharing his attributes and his messages, which can be found on YouTube. Is it Dr. Sunday Adelaja official on YouTube, and Sunday Adelaja blog to get to his blog. Yeah. So please let the love, let it be spread worldwide. Anyway, with that done, for those of you who may not know anything about me, so my name is Anastasia MacDonald. Like I said before, I grew up without a dad, and so I'm very passionate about talking about issues to do with those of us who didn't grow up with a dad, hence this talk show. I also am very active on Facebook. I have two outlets there. One of them is Awakenings Art by Anastasia, where I do my art stuff. And then I have another one called My Daddy God For Real, which also I use my gift of art to talk more about Daddy God, to encourage people to have a personal relationship with him, a closer, warm, friendly personal relationship. And recently I've started another one called Stately and Flourishing, the 50 plus woman for those of us who turn 50. So I'm going to be talking more about that later on. I think I need to slow down a bit because I realize I'm talking very fast. Anyway, so welcome to the part 2 of my life story. So I'm just going to go over the points that I shared in part 1. And for those of you who want to catch up with the part 1, it's on my YouTube. If you type in Anastasia MacDonald, MacDonald, you will see the part 1 of my life story that I did last week. So who we have here? Let me greet those. So we have Queen Olayinka. Good afternoon. And then we have a king called AK here. Thank you for joining me live this afternoon. And who else is there? Oh, Queen, you're my roomie. My roomie. Thank you, roomie, for joining me this afternoon. And who else is there? Yeah, so I'm going to click. Oh, there's Queen Lisa. Hi, Queen Lisa. Good to see you. I know that we have other programs coming up after mine, so I'm going to be quite brief so that we can have time to look at the other ones going on. So anyway, just to reiterate the ones that I raised up in part 1, I shared with you that some of the lessons that I learned was number 1, hold a second, let me get back to my notes, is that you are already known by name. You're already known by name. Okay, you're already known by name. You're all represented by angelic assistance. So like I said, if you go to my YouTube, you understand all that I'm talking about. That's a point number 2. You are already welcome. That's point number 3 I shared. Point number 4, you already have access. And then point number 5, you already have freedom. So these were the 4 points that I shared last week. And like I said, I can't go into details because of time. And you can watch those on my YouTube channel, Anastasia MacDonald. So for those of you tuning in live, in March, I left the UK to join my mentor who was in the church. We're celebrating the 23rd anniversary. The church, yes, we're celebrating the anniversary, and then also which went on to do the History Makers training, which is a 5-day intensive leadership training. And so after that, I stayed behind to be able to have more time with my mentor, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And whilst I was there, I was able to pick up lessons that I believe Daddy God was showing me through the lifestyle of my mentor, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So, good afternoon, Hakan. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Oh, wow. And good afternoon, Queen Joker. Good afternoon, and Queen Chi, we're all lovely to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I'm a bit tongue-tied this afternoon. I don't know why. I guess I'm full of excitement. Anyway, so I'm going to continue. So the next vision, or the next mirroring that I saw with Dr. Sandy was the fact that you already have intimacy with your spiritual father. You already have spiritual intimacy with your spiritual father. Now, remember I said I'm an artist, so I'm going to be using vivid images to paint on your imagination so you can capture what was happening. So in the Bible, in Romans 8:51, the Phillips version, it says, there is no condemnation now that hangs over the head of those who are in Jesus. There is no condemnation now that hangs over those who are in Jesus Christ. Now let me tell you, when you're around with Dr. Sunday, it's you feel like you're with Big Daddy. You feel like you're with a daddy, a real loving daddy. And when you're in his presence, there's no essence or there's no feeling of intimidation or you're feeling condemned. You know, like how for those of us that had, some experience of growing with in Africa with a father figure, and and I know that, when daddy is coming home, when the father is coming home, what do? Immediately you start running. You run. You run and you make sure that everything is prim and proper, and you make sure that you make sure that everything is in its corner so that you don't get into trouble. So that was the imaging. And I, obviously, because I grew up a long time in Ghana, I saw those examples that when a father figure is coming home, instead of being open and welcoming and running towards the father, running towards that father figure, what happened was that we ran away. People would run away from the father figure and will make, kind of hide. If there's anything they were doing, but they would rather, hide. So, I saw examples of hiding away from father figures, rather than running towards father figures. And then you made sure that when you were in their presence, you would comport yourself in such a way with utmost respect. You made sure that nothing you said was out of line. Everything was yes, uncle, yes, mommy, or yes, daddy, or yes, all the elder was yes, 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 even if you didn't agree with your heart. And I'm not saying that we show disrespect to our elders or any of the like. No, that's what I'm saying, because even God commands us to have love and respect for one another. But I'm just showing you at that time that is what was going on. You were afraid to say anything out of line for the fear of this thing coming on you. But with Dr. Sunday, it's like there's no condemnation. Honestly, you can feel yourself with Dr. Sunday. You don't have to like make sure you toe in line, but there's no condemnation. You feel like you are with your father or you're with your daddy. So point number 5, you already have intimacy with the father. And to give you another example, remember last we saw Dr. Sunday show his scars to us when he was doing the live summit. But when we were there, once again, he showed us his scars. We put our hand on his leg, we touched the scars, and then he talked about the scars that were in his scalp. And I remember putting my hand in his scalp. So it's just like a father. Like Jesus said to the disciples, no, touch my scars. I think, was it Philip? Then doubting Philip, when he wasn't sure that it was Jesus, and Jesus said, look here, look, there's the scar, touch it. So very approachable, very, very endearing. So Dr. Sunday, his lifestyle, even by that afternoon, what it was, when he showed us, he rolled up his he was wearing shorts then, I beg your pardon, and then he showed us his scars, and we were able to touch the scars, even the harder ones, and to touch the scars that were in his scalp. And I thought, oh my goodness, I mean, I don't know of any pastor that would allow you to come so close. But guess what? Daddy God is always beckoning us to come closer to him. Always he does everything. Any action of Daddy God, any speech of Daddy God, any display you see of Daddy God is to draw us closer. And then, like I said last week, when we get to heaven, for those who have gone ahead, and those of us who are still down here, when we get to heaven, when we get to heaven, I am going to be under Daddy God's armpits. I'm going to be under his armpit. Good afternoon, Queen Shay. Lovely to see you. Long time no see. So I'm going to be right under Daddy God's armpit, you know. So yeah, there's no you don't have to tiptoe around Dr. Sunday. You can just be yourself. And being in his presence is like being home, away, being at home away from home. So being at home away from home, being at home of your spiritual daddy away from your home, wherever your home is. All right, so that's point number 5. And point number 6. Oh, this is I love this one so much. You already have playtime, and the playtime I'm talking about is quote unquote in the Bible. In Matthew 18 verse 3, the Amplified version, the classic edition says that it says, and so Jesus said, I truly say to you, unless you repent, unless you change and turn about and become like little children, trusting, lowly, love and forgiving, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven at all. So unless you become like little children. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean about becoming like little children? Well, this is what happened at our spiritual daddy's house. This is what happened. I'm sure those of you who were logged in when Maya was doing the vlogging, where you saw us doing the joy, so much joy, and we're doing the dance, joy, so much joy, so much joy, so much joy. And why could we do that? We could do that because we felt welcome in Daddy's presence. We felt at home in Daddy's presence, and so it was like we had become like little children in Daddy's presence. We have become like children, and so which opened the door or paved the way for playtime. And so we did even off camera, we did a lot of the joy, so much joy, and we did a lot of the dancing as well, because there was peace, there was love, there was no condemnation. And the Bible says that in Daddy God's presence, it's full of joy. When you're in Daddy God's presence, you're just a child. Not like you're a child, you're childlike, and he wants us to be childlike. And you know what? I'm coming in greater power being childlike. You're going to see Anastasia in a whole new light, because the more I experienced God, the more I feel like Daddy's girl. Yesterday, one of my daughters, my spiritual daughters, said to me that she said, Mom, because she calls me Mom. She said, I notice anytime you talk about Daddy God, you're like this little child, and you become so excited. I mean, there's no way you cannot be excited when you're in Daddy God's presence, because there's no inhibition, there's no judgment. You're experiencing more of his love. Now, do I get all of Daddy's love? No, I'm a work in progress. I'm learning. So that is what it was like with Dr. Sunday as well. So welcoming, his arms wide open, and even the fact, like I said, allowing us to put our hands on his leg and our hands in his hair. You know how it is, children. You know how children are when they're with their dad. They climb on top of their dad. They put their hands in his hair. They're just free. They're just free. They just enjoy Daddy. So that is what it was like with Dr. Sunday Adelaja. My daddy, your daddy. He said he doesn't like being called Papa, but you know what I mean. So you see, I'm laughing. The very idea, just remembering the environment is making me laugh. It's just making me laugh and making me come alive, because that's what it is with Dr. Sunday. So Point number 6, you already have playtime. You can dance and not be rebuked. Say, what do you think you're doing there? Nobody, Dr. San is not going to rebuke you for enjoying yourself. No, he's not. He doesn't do that. So there I was. Yes, Queen Jane. I love the way that Queen Jane, you take notes. I really, really admire you. I really applaud you. And I know that's your way of doing it. And it really does help. Thank you so much. So you do have playtime. When you get a kid, you can play. You can do, in fact, anyways, lip seal for now, but you're going to see more. Right, Queen Elizabeth, hi there. So that's point number 6, I said. I hope I'm there. And then the next one is that you already have time for laughter. Did we have laughter? Oh, yes, we had laughter. So we had laughter with one another. Myself, Queen Mayua and Queen Julie. We were just like 3 naughty children. We were 3 naughty children, I'm telling you. And it was just so lovely. So there's laughter. You know how it is. You know how back home, when the elders are talking, you have to keep quiet. There's no way when the elders are talking that you can begin to start laughing in a way that is expressive, that is childlike, or this thing. No, you must stand prim and proper. Queen Elizabeth says, Queen Anastasia, looking flawless, beautifully endowed to gorgeously daddy God. God is, thank you so much. So good afternoon, King Christopher, welcome on board. We are talking about my life story upgrade special, the lessons I learned from being with Dr. Sandy Adelaja after the 23rd anniversary in Kyiv, Ukraine, and then the History Makers training, because I stayed back. So I'm just talking about how I'm learning to know God better through the lifestyle of Dr. Sandy Adelaja, my best mentor in the whole wide world. And so we had time for laughter. So there were times, obviously, when we sat with Dr. Sunday, which I think was almost every day after HMT, when he was doing the book review, and sometimes when the camera was off, he would ask us questions, and then we'll burst into laughter. So there's so much joy, there's so much freedom, and so much freedom, a lot of questions. Dr. Sunny is always asking questions. We are always in his presence. You're always doing analytical thinking. And it's a wonderful way of how he empowers his spiritual children, to move from being a biomass that just responds without thinking. Biomass is somebody that just eats, sleeps, and does that without thinking. But when you're in with your spiritual daddy, Dr. Sandy Adelaja, if you have embraced him as your mentor, then he will teach you how to move from being a biomass to a personality. Somebody who thinks deeply, doesn't accept anything and everything. I do apologize for my lighting. For those of you who joined, it's broke, so I've had to adjust it in a certain way. And so there we go. Making the best out of every situation. My mind says we should call for problems. We should welcome a problem. So when it broke, I went, all right, another problem. Anyway, so back to the subject. Experiencing and knowing God through my best mentor, Dr. Sandy Adelaja. Queen Lisa says that she's enjoying my joy. Yes, so there's so much joy in Dr. Sandy Adelaja's his home, or his mansion, should I say, because it's a 60-bedroom mansion, but he only lives in 1/10. And 9/10 has been dedicated to all of you who would like to spend time with him, to get to know him, to sit under him and all the rest. So 9/10 is there, so you can visit him anytime, any day. You just need to send an email to, I'm not sure, I've forgotten what the email address is, but I'll post it later. But you just need to send an email and you go and spend time there. He's going to be celebrating his birthday, which is over 3 days, from the 26th to the 28th in Kyiv. So if you're interested in going to celebrate with him in the flesh, then this is the best opportunity to go there, to go and visit him there through this party. Now I went to, I'm just digressing just a little bit. He took us to the place where he's holding the party, and it is beautiful. I'm sure you saw the video. You saw Queen Maya's video. It is beautiful. It's lovely. So just going to encourage you to make plans to be there, because you can't afford to miss this one. So anyway, so there's time for laughter. You don't have to, zip your lips. You don't have to maybe comport yourself in a certain way that, or you have to be scared that, oh my gosh, I need to be stiff because I'm in Dr. Sunday's presence. No, no. So that is much more joy and laughter. And so the next point, guys, is today's will be very brief. Like I said, the next point is that you already have comfort in his presence. There's this comfort that many you know his comforting presence on camera, but you're with him as well. His what do you call it? His physical presence carries comfort. And this afternoon, he was talking about his life story. For those of you who have not watched it, I just want to encourage you to what it's on my timeline, and you need to watch and listen attentively to his life story. But he carries compassion and comfort at the same time. So there's no way that you would feel intimidated. Yes, he's comfort personified. And the Bible tells us that, the Holy Spirit is our comforter. The Holy Spirit is our comforter. He is our strengthener. He's our advocate. He's our intercessor. He's the one who stands alongside us. And Dr. Sunday he is in the form of like that. He stands alongside of us, empowering us and encouraging us to be personalities, to be everything that is, God has called us to be. He stands alongside. He's championing us. I wouldn't be doing this talk show if it hadn't been, the diligent and encouraging effort of Dr. Sunday. There's no way I will be in front of this camera doing this. But his encouraging words, his comforting words, his empowering words have given me the confidence to do what I'm doing, and even much, much more. So you already, for those of you who are planning to go to Kyiv, you already have the comfort of Daddy, Daddy, but much more, even much more, even much more. You have the comforting presence of the Holy Spirit. You have the comforting presence of Daddy God. Daddy God. He said, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what you are going through. He will never, ever leave you. He will never ever abandon you. Now I know what it is to feel abandoned. Today we were talking now points of reference going back to our childhood, but Daddy God, he's got a new reference point for you. He will never ever leave your side, ever. When everybody else would or could or should abandon you, Daddy God is always there for you. So that's another point. And then there was another one that I missed there, that when you go, there's a table already laid before you. What do I mean? There's already a table laid before you. The Bible tells us in Psalm 23, I think verse 5, that he lays a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So God lays a table now. Times we were with Dr. Sunday, I don't know I'm laughing all the time. But anyway, I do know I'm laughing because I'm talking about Daddy God and I'm talking about spiritual daddy. So when we were there, most of the time, Dr. Sandy will have a table laid in front of us with chocolate, sweets, and all kind of knickknacks that they were just laid on the table. Sweets and sweets and chocolates. Yes. Queen Chewie says this time in the presence of our family. Yes, yes, he laid the table in the presence of his family. You rightly said. So there were the sweets, the chocolates, and drink whatever you want to drink. Mine was lemon and hot water. So we had that laid, and it just mirrored. Good afternoon, King Joseph. It just mirrored, he lays a table for us, a banquet. There's a banquet laid, before all of us, his children, and you have the choice to choose. That God is not going to tap your hands and say, "No, don't you touch that." It's laid there for you. And so that was my experience as well. Oh, the sweets. Oh my goodness. I'm sure you're wondering why am I laughing so, but I've explained myself. I'm just remembering all the pleasant experiences of Daddy God mirroring. Now, on a serious note, I brought a mirror. I hope it doesn't reflect too much, but all the time, Daddy God was beaming who he is through the lifestyle of Dr. Sandy Adelaja. He was beaming, so he was allowing me to getting to see him better. And there's a story in the Bible. There's a story in the Bible where Jesus was healing this blind man, and he took was it sand from the earth and spit on it and rubbed it on his eyes and asked him, can you see? And the blind man said, I can see, but I see men as trees. And he did it and he could see complete. So basically, what Daddy God does is that he beams pictures in different ways because none of us can see him clearly. We've grown up with warped ideas, distorted images about who God is. And so, Daddy God is in the business of giving us 2020. He's in the business of giving us 2020 vision so that we can actually see who he really is. And for me personally, your experience may be different, but for me personally, at this point in my life, he's using Dr. Sandy Adelaja, obviously apart from, the reading of my Bible, which is his infallible word. He's using Dr. Sandy Adelaja to mirror and to help me see, okay, I get it. This is what Daddy God is like in the flesh. Jesus came from heaven. He took on flesh and he dwelt amongst men. And he did that so that the people could see who Daddy God was really like. That's what he did. That's why Jesus came. He took on flesh. He took on human flesh. And he dwelt, the Bible tells us in John that he dwelt amongst us so we could see him, so that we could feel him, so that we could touch him, we could see that, this is what Daddy God was like. This is the mindset of Daddy God. This is the character of Daddy God. And when you read the gospel, Jesus was always talking about the Father. Go and check the gospel. He was always doing, and my daddy got this, and my daddy got that, and my daddy got this, and my daddy got this. But he didn't use daddy God. He used, and the Father this, and my Father that, and my Father this, and my Father that. So when you hear me talking about, and DSA this, and DSA that, I'm not idolizing the man. I'm just picking up the beamings, the reflections that Daddy God is relaying through a personality, through the personality of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So, um, so I hope I've been able to get you to look at Daddy God differently. I hope I've been able to paint a much more clearer picture about who Daddy God is through the lifestyle of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And I would encourage you, as I did last week, to do whatever you can to make a trip to Ukraine, to Kiev, Ukraine, so that you too can experience, obviously, your spiritual father. You too can see. Now, by me being with Dr. Sunday Adelaja, I feel like I am more equipped to copy, to also be a mirror to other people. I feel that because I've seen it, I feel more equipped and able to do it. So I just want to encourage you to, take time out and go and visit him and see what Daddy God does to you through Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Now, am I saying that is Dr. Sunday Adelaja is the only person that Daddy God can use? No, he can use a donkey if he wants to, because he can use whatever he wants to. But I believe that at this point in time and in our generation, he's one of Dr. Sunday Adelaja is one of the people that Daddy God is using expressly to help us in our relationship with God. Daddy God is using him as a medium to enrich our relationship. And Daddy God will use any means possible to draw us closer to him. Any means possible he will use. But this point in time, I believe that he's one of the key people. He's not the only person, but he's one of the key people that Daddy God is using to draw us closer to him. There's nothing that beats the heart of Daddy God than for his children to be very close with him. Now, I'm a parent, and I love it when my adult boys, come home and still, even at their ages, the first one who's going to be 25, and the other one 22, I still enjoy hugging them. I still enjoy kissing them. I still enjoy just being a mom to them. So I can imagine how Daddy God feels in wanting all people, not just his children, but all creation. It is desired that all men will know him. So this is a summary of my life story upgrade special, experiencing and knowing God through my best mentor, or if you like, knowing and experiencing God through my best mentor. I do hope that I've been able to encourage you. I will briefly go through the points again, just the points, and then I'm going to say goodbye to every one of you. So let's go through, I hope I can get them, correct. So the first point I said was you're already known by name. And to watch that, which I did in part 1, you go to my YouTube and type in Anastasia MacDonald, and you see the part 1 there. So point number 1 in learning and getting to know better. Point number 1, you're already known by name. Number 2, you are already represented by angelic assistance. Point number 3, you are already welcome. You're already welcome home. Point number 4, you are already at home. Point number 5, you already have access. You have access to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. You have access. When you are there, he is open to you. Open for you, Point number 5, you already have freedom of enjoying his presence. Freedom. Point number 6, you already have intimacy with your spiritual father. and I've already explained what that means. Point number 7, you already have playtime, which is one of my favorites. You already have playtime. And then point number 5, you oh sorry, I've where was I? I'm not sure, but the next point, you already have time for laughter. Laughter. No, you don't. No fear, no condemnation. The next point, because I don't know where my points are now, I've mixed them up. You already have comfort of your spiritual daddy. The comforting presence carries the ambience of comfort around it and compassion. And then the last point, which was not really the last point, is that you already have a table laid before you. A table laid before you. So these are all my points. I think they are about 10 or 11, and these are the things that I saw and have been seeing even off on his live shows about the lifestyle of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. I would like to know, so I've got questions for you. So what is your story? What is your story? What is your story? I've shared with you my story. What is your experience with Daddy God? What is your experience? Are you getting to knowing him better? Are you getting to know him better? Nothing matters more than developing a close, warm, friendly, creative, fun, playful, unhindered relationship with Daddy God. What is your story? How are you getting to knowing Daddy God? How are you doing that? Do you notice the way Daddy God is drawing you closer? Have you picked up on his cues? Because the way he may be teaching me or drawing me may be different to yours or to you, because we're all unique children, and the way he deals with us is very unique. So what is your story? What is your story? How is God Daddy drawing you closer to him? For me, it's Dr. Sunday Adelaja, through his lifestyle, through the mirroring. And I guess the reason why Daddy God chose Dr. Sunday Adelaja is because of my reference point, because I didn't have a daddy. And Daddy in eternity past thought, the best person for Anastasia and to give her double for her trouble would be in the person of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. But I don't know. Maybe yours is not him. But the important question I'm asking here, all jokes aside, is, are you picking up the cues that Daddy God is giving you, that he wants you to draw closer to him? He wants you to spend more time with him. Are you picking up the cues? Do you know what he's saying to you? Do you feel that your heart is being lit up with this desire to draw closer to him? Do you understand his language of love towards you? I do. I do. And I'm very grateful. Are you going to open your heart towards Daddy God? Now, I want to speak, I'm conscious of the time. I want to speak to those of you who may have had bad experiences with your daddy. And as a result, you close up your heart. You've closed up your heart to anything that wears pants, and you've closed up your heart to Daddy God. Will you please open up your heart to Daddy and let him in? He is a good daddy. He is the best daddy in the entire universe. Trust me. He is the daddy of all daddies. So I just want to implore you, if you have closed up your heart towards God, please give him a chance. let him show you who he really is, and you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. I just want to read a few comments here. Queen Elizabeth says, my pain drew me closer, but thanks to DSA, I'm able to see why. And no, I'm laughing because that's the effects of Daddy God, and that's the effects of DSA. I think I saw DSA. Good afternoon, my best mentor in the whole wide world, and my daddy. Good afternoon. So lovely to see you, Dr. Sandy Adelaja. Thank you for joining me live. For those of you who are watching, Dr. Sunday, my best mentor in the whole wide world, and my spiritual father is online, and I'm so honored to have you. Thank you so much. So I'm about to run off. So yes. So guys, let us draw closer to the throne of grace. Let us draw closer. Let's get to know Daddy. You know, let's be empowered by Daddy God so that we can be everything that He's called us to be. So that we can go out and show the world what Daddy is like. So that we can show the world what Daddy is like. So that all men may know Him. You know? So that all men may know Him. In the same way that I've been able to see Dr. Sunday Adelaja and see what Daddy is like better. I would love to be able to, I would love people to look at me and say that because of you, Anastasia, I know what Daddy God is like. So I just want to encourage all of us, and let's get busy. Let's get busy with our assignments. Let's be daring. And I just want to take this opportunity to warn you, because the Anastasia that is coming out, you haven't seen her before. She is going to come out like never before. You don't know. The one that is talking to you, that is just a little. But the next Anastasia you see coming out, you're going to be blown away, because I'm going to be every little, big, medium, in between, that is, I'm being everything. Nobody is holding me back anymore. No person, no persons, no principality in heaven, under the earth, in the earth is holding me back. I am going to be everything that Daddy God has put me on this earth to be, to the point that He called me home. And I pray that that is your prayer too. Thank Pastor Rick for joining me this afternoon. I'm about to round off, as I've been saying for several times now. Does anybody have any questions before we leave? Queen Elizabeth, Daddy God is super awesome. Yes, He's awesome. He's my Daddy God. Does anybody have any questions before I say goodbye to you? Any questions? Queen Elizabeth said, the enemy is so pain for all you have been through. Oh yes, he is pain big time for all the pain that he caused me. Big time. Let's see, is there anything I need to read here? And then but I'll say bye-bye. Queen Elizabeth says, you are a great portrait. Thank you very much, Queen Lisa, for your kind comments. And I'm going to round up saying there's nothing else. Thank you so much for joining me, every one of you, the kings and the queens, the beautiful people. Thank you, my best mentor and spiritual daddy, for joining me. Thank you, Queen Chiwe. Thank you, my queen sisters and my king brothers. Thank you for every one of you, and thank you for viewers who'll be watching afterward. Thank you for being a part of my amazing journey and transformation. I love you so much, and I do apologize for my lighting. Like I said, it's broken. It broke just before I started the live broadcast, so I've had to adjust it in a certain way so that I can get some lighting. So I know that I'm not lighting up as I normally am, so I do apologize for that. Thank you, every one of you, and saying bye. Have a wonderful rest of the afternoon. I think at 5 o'clock UK time, Dr. Sandy Adelaja will be on with his Ukrainian counterparts. They'll be giving their testimony. So please join at 5 o'clock. He's going to be on with them sharing their amazing testimonies, and I'm going to be there. So bye everyone. Bye kings and queens. See you. See you on the other side of the platform at 5 o'clock. Thank you. Bye. In his presence, there is fullness of joy. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate your time. Thank you so, so, so much. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye. For the last time. Bye. Bye.